to speak tonight. Been on the campaign trail a long time now. I was the first one to put my hat in the ring. My name is Billy Long, out of Springfield, Missouri. My grandfather had 3 brothers. One of them was killed in the First World War. The others all went into the furniture business. So my dad took me to my first auction at about 2 years old. The Frisco had the Dead Freight auction back then. In the late 70s, I was selling real estate. A fellow named Jimmy Carter was president. Interest rates were 16, 17, 18% on a house. Nothing was selling. I thought, well, why couldn't you go to auction school and learn how to sell real estate? Drove up to Kansas City, came home, hit the ground running, and asked Mom, the cashier, Dad, the clerk, went on to build probably the biggest auction company in the state. I've sold auctions all through the 7th District for the last 30 years. Built a real estate company up in the meantime, and just a business owner. I think we need to send citizens. I did talk radio for 6 years. A lot of you told me tonight you used to listen to KWTO when I was on there for 6 years. When I did talk radio, I said for 6 years, I said when a seat comes open, when congressional or a Senate seat comes open, why does it always have to be a politician? Why is it always somebody moving up? Do we ever look to the business community? Do we ever go to a Rudy Farber, a Lance Beashore, Glenn Garrett, Johnny Morris? Anyone like that? Patty Pinney. Do we ever go to the business community and say, we'd like for you to go up to Congress and try to straighten us out? I heard a businessman speak the other day in St. Louis. His name was Mitt Romney. Used to be governor. And when he was governor, they came to him in Massachusetts. They said, we have a terrible budget problem. We have to balance our budget. He said, well, let me look at some things. And they showed him this big bill on the homeless, on homeless shelters. He said, what is this? And they said, well, what's this line item at the bottom? Hotel rooms. And they said, well, if the shelter's full, then we send them to the hotel and pay their bill. Really, he said. They said, well, Governor, you can't mess with the homeless. That's not politically correct. You can't do anything, with the homeless. And he said, well, let me look at it. So Broad said, how do we do this? He said, when somebody comes up and the shelter's full, we send them to the hotel. He said, let's try this. Again, this is a businessman looking at it, not a politician. He said, let's do this. When they come to the shelter and it's full, I want you to go in the back of the shelter and find the family, or the man and the wife, the kids that have been there the longest. You send them to the hotel. Whoever's there that night, we're going to have a bed for them in the shelter. They had thousands of hotel room nights, millions of dollars in hotel rooms that they were spending. And he said, you know how many hotel rooms we bought that next year after we started the program? 0. And that's the kind of common sense we need to take to D.C. I asked Mel Hancock a year ago for his endorsement. He said, oh no, Billy, it's too early to endorse. But about a year later, he called me up and said, I'm ready to endorse. I was up in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago, met with Ron Paul and several different congressmen up there. And I went to Grover Nordquist, Americans for Tax Relief meeting that morning, probably 125, 130 people there. They let 3 of us speak. And when I said Mel Hancock, the House of Representatives, thank you.